All right, here we go. Welcome everybody to Coffee with Markus. Today is April 21st and it is day 41 of our stock market crash. And today the Dow is down again. More than 2%. Earlier it was down 2.5%. Right now, just a little bit over 2%, but still down. So what is happening in the markets? Crude oil is plummeting more than 43%. So we'll take a look at this. We'll take a look at two stocks that are reporting earnings today that tell the tale of two tales. Is this what you say? I don't know, right? As promised, I will show you my account statement because yesterday somebody asked for it. I'll be happy to show you what I did over the past few weeks. And then I also have something special for you. So let's get started. Good. Seems that today the video is much better. You know that yesterday we had a few problems, but if we are good today, give me a quick thumbs up. Let me know that we are good, and then we jump right on the charts to see what is happening here. And yes, this is the Dow, and you see earlier, you know this, I have drawn this line here, which was previous. Let me see if I can extend it here. There we go. Which was previous resistance, and now it acts as support. You also see that overall the sentiment has changed. You know that I like to look at indicators, and the indicators were telling me right now that the market was more likely to go up. Today, I mean, the markets have not yet closed. We have another 28 minutes. But right now it is a black bar, meaning that the markets might continue to go sideways for a little bit, or maybe even plummets down. We will see if this support holds here. The support is at approximately, what do we have it here? 22,600, somewhere around this. So we shall see. We shall see. So what is causing today's crash? Well, what has been in the news yesterday and today? Crude oil. And here, take a look at this. We don't need to change the chart layout here. Here you see it, crude oil right now down 35%, but you see it's coming off the lows. Earlier it was down 43%. So why is that? What is happening and how is this affecting the overall market? Well, first of all, crude oil is down because there's no more demand. We have talked about it over and over again. Nobody's traveling by plane. Nobody's going on cruise ships. Nobody is driving in a car anywhere. I mean, not as much as we used to, right? And this is affecting, of course, consumption. Production is shut down. So our energy consumption worldwide is at all-time lows, and this is what we are seeing here in the market. So right now they're trying to store crude oil, and I mean, there's only so and so much storage available. In fact, this morning I said that they are actually loading up crude oil tankers, right? And so they're sending crude oil on a cruise here. This is what is going on, what's happening in the market. So as we can see, this is where right now, let me come back to the desktop here. We see that how the virus here has an effect on the economy. I don't know what this is showing it again. Do not show this again. Continue. There we go. So let's go back to the Dow and let's take a look of where we stand here for the day. So if you look at this, we already finished. We open up. That's what I mean. We open up lower, and as you can see, choppy throughout the day, and right now markets are a little bit undecided. So let's take a look at the Vix, the Volatility Index, to see what is happening here. Now, you know, we'd like to use the Vix to gauge what strategy we would like to use. See, today the Vix is jumping up again right now at 45. Now, as long as we're above 40, this is when my favorite strategy in this times is selling put options. And if you want, we can take a look at my account here in a moment, only if you're interested, of course, so that you see what is happening with my positions. We established one yesterday together, tried to get out of one, and if you're interested, let me know, and I'll be happy to show you what's happening with this. So once the VIX goes below 30, this is when I'm more interested in buying calls and puts, and this is when I'll go back to PowerX Optimizer and the PowerX strategy. Okay, is this making sense thus far? So far, so good. So before we look at my positions in the account, let's talk about a few stocks that are in the headlines today. So one of them is Netflix, reporting earnings after the bell. And as you can see right now, slightly up ahead of earnings. So we're up 1%. We'll see what happens once they report it. But Netflix clearly one of the winners in this crisis that is going on. Another company that is supposed to report earnings after the bell, we will see if they do it today or tomorrow. See, right now there's a little bit of uncertainty because companies say we plan to report earnings, but they don't have to do it. The dates are not set. But United Airlines here, and this is seems that they have pushed back their earnings until next week. Not quite sure when they're doing it. I read this morning that they want to do it after the bell. As you can see, airlines are being hit hard here right now. So this is what we see. A few others. Chipotle. I can't remember what the symbol is. Chipotle Mexican Grill is also reporting after the bell. Hey, seems that they're hanging in there. So I'm surprised. I thought that restaurants and the hospitalities restaurants that they would be down, but it seems that Chipotle is hanging in there. Texas Instruments, another one. No, that's not it. TI reporting. What is Texas Instruments? Is it just T? I thought it was Texas Instruments. No. Who knows? Somebody else was reporting. Doesn't really matter that much. So this is what's going on in the market. So what I personally do, as you know, so I personally like to sell puts, and here want to show you my account. And, it's red. Well, you see, this is what happens with trading. Now, this is unrealized profits today. So let's talk about this first on the upper right-hand side. So you see the realized profits this morning. I bought back my play puts that I sold. I believe it was exactly 1 week ago. So I realized $630 in 1 week, not bad. Yesterday we sold a few of them. You saw it, saw me doing it live here on Coffee with Markus live. So we sold 3 today, another 34. I think this is, for a total of 37. That's what we did. Then we also have NCLH. With NCLH, we're still looking good. $780 in unrealized profits. The one position that is in trouble right now is the one that established yesterday at around noon. And this is SPCE, Virgin Galactic. So right now, as you can see, down 721. So let's jump into this. Let's take a look at this trade exactly of what's happening. Am I concerned about it? And if you are in this trade, what my opinion is about this trade. So SPCE, let's talk about this trade here. Oh, and then I'm going to show you my account statement again as promised. So right here, my plan is that SPCE stays above 13 for the next few days, preferably until May 8th. So today they're down 10%. And you might be wondering, why? Why are they down 10%? So this is very interesting because this is where I think some traders got confused. Now, you might have heard that Virgin Galactic here, this is what stands behind SPCE. SPCE is short for space because this is Richard Branson's company that is supposed to take off into space, right? And do some space tourism, I believe. Not quite sure what plans he has. Now, but you might have seen in the news, so if you just Google Virgin, you might have seen in the news today or yesterday that Virgin Australia enters voluntary administration. And also, let's just take a look at the news here. So, billionaire Richard Branson asks for government to save Virgin Atlantic. This is his airline. But you see, this is where it gets confusing. So, he has multiple companies. I don't even know. Richard Branson, how many companies does he have? Does anybody know? I mean, 100 companies? 1,000 companies? Many of these companies are called Virgin because this is where he started with Virgin Records, right? I mean, this was it. Then I think at some point, I mean, he had so many ventures and he still has. So one of them being the airline, which is, let's go back here to the desktop, Virgin Atlantic is in trouble. However, this company here is Virgin Galactic. Can you see how this can be easily confusing? Virgin Atlantic, Virgin Galactic. So here's what I believe is going on today. I believe that there are quite a few traders who are confused and you're thinking, oh, this company is in trouble. And this is why we see a retracement here. I'm not concerned because, again, we want to see that it stays above 13 and if 13. And if it bounces back tomorrow, we will be just fine. Now, going back to the account here, this is so-called unrealized profit and loss. See, this is what the realized profit is. So I was able to put $630 in my account. I think yesterday we closed it for 150, a few of these positions. So that's where we stand right now. Okay, so let's see. Is this making sense? Before we jump to my account statement, just want to make sure that this is really interesting to you, because if it is not, then I'll do something else. Let me know if this thus far has been interesting. Give me a thumbs up, click on like really quick. By the way, if this is your first time here and you're enjoying it, you might consider subscribing to this channel. There's a button right underneath, and when you hit this little notification bell, you get a notification from YouTube whenever I release a new video or I go live. Anyhow, seems that you're enjoying it thus far. And so we will talk about this specific trade because I think, yeah, we'll look at questions here in just a moment, because I also have something special for you that I want to show you in just a moment. Okay, so let's hop over, and because yesterday, I can remember one of you said, I'm really interested. Can I see your account statement? And this is where I understand where the question is coming from. Let me just come back here. I understand, because there's a lot of skepticism, right? I mean, am I for real? Am I a real trader? I'm showing you here the good, the bad, and the ugly. So today, I'm down. It happens. But you see, you can't, what do you count this? You can't count the chicken until they hatch or something like this. Or you can't count the eggs until they're all in a basket. Who knows? Right? You get the idea. So only when you realize profits, this is when you know. This means when you close the position. So let's, I brought it up here. So this here is my account statement. Now I have multiple accounts. Before bringing this up here, let me just mention this. So I have a total, I believe it's 7 or 8 accounts that I have for a very simple reason. I have accounts dedicated to several strategies. For example, I have an account that is dedicated for trading the binary power spreads. I have an account that is dedicated for trading the PowerX strategy. I have another account that is dedicated to doing what I do right now and have been doing for now a month. I started exactly on March 20th. So it's one of the smaller accounts that I have. So I put $25,000 in this. Let me just show you what this looks like. So this here, the account statement, the activity statement from March 20th till April 20th. So for the past 4 weeks, right? You see on March 19th, this is where I put some money into the account, $25,380. Right now, as you can see, the account value is $38,000. I think $35,000. This is the correct one here. So you see the profit that I made in these 4 weeks on this $25,000 account is $10,524. And my broker here, who's Interactive Brokers, was kind enough to say, okay, it is 41.47%. So that's where we want to take a look at what trades did I do. So here are all the trades that I did. And if you have been following me for a while, then you have seen some of the trades that I did. So how many did I do? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 trades. And as you can see, out of these 17 trades in the total, you see thus far, every single one has worked out. Knock on wood. I mean, this can change. And you see, here's the deal. I'm not showing this to you to impress you. I mean, trust me, I'm plenty impressed with myself. So I don't need to impress you. I'm showing it to you so that you see what is possible with trading. Now, also, I want to make sure that you understand my results are not typical at all whatsoever, right? I mean, I've been doing it for a long time. I'm really good at it. If you follow this strategy, I do not know how you execute it. I do not know what trades you pick. So for you, it can look completely different. But this is what I did in this account. This is the exact trades that I did. Let me just show it to you. So this way, you know exactly what's happening. And you see the total profit here on these trades were $10,529. And yes, you might be surprised, why am I paying commission? So Interactive Brokers has 2 different versions. There's a free version where I'm not paying any commissions at all. And there's a paid version where I pay commissions. I choose to pay this. In another video, we can get into this of why I'm doing it. There's a very specific reason. Anyhow, you get the idea. That's where we stand. You also see that I have quite a few open positions here right now. So that's open PNL. Anyhow, wanted to share this with you so that you know what I'm doing and what my track record is. Is this making sense? This helpful? Again, I have a very special treat for you in just a moment, but let me just take a look at the questions here to see if there were any before we move on. Before I have a very special segment prepared for you today. So let me just see, because there were a few questions earlier that I want to quickly address. Now, Sakib is asking, will USO survive this drop in cruise prices? I don't know. I mean, it looks grim. You see, a few weeks ago, I was really, really bullish on crude oil. This is where I thought, oh my gosh, how long can we stay below $20, right? I mean, it costs money to get crude oil out of the ground. It costs money to store it. I mean, so there's money involved. So I thought at some point they would actually stop getting it out of the ground. And you know that they agreed to production cuts, but these production cuts are 10 million barrels a day, and they start on May 1st. Too little, too late, right? I mean, now they're talking about maybe we should do them right now. You think? Yeah, you probably should do this. Okay, so we will see. And Rajai says, I believe Trump will issue an executive order to stop all imports of foreign oil. I believe it's already happening. I mean, what do you want to do with it? Where do you want to store it, right? Where do you want to store it? So the USO ETF, I don't know. I mean, let's take a look at this together, shall we? I mean, let's just do this. Let's take a look at the charts. Because you know me, how do we do this? What do we always say? Trade what you see, not what you think. Take a sip. And then let's take a look at the chart here. USO. So this is where we are right now. Oh my gosh, we're at $2.85. This doesn't look good. This does not look good. Oh, I'm not sharing my desktop. There we go. Okay. Will they survive? They plummeted another 24%. So I don't know what to tell you if you have USO right now. I personally might just cut my losses, or this will be a very long-term investment. You know what a long-term investment is? A long-term investment is a short-term investment gone wrong. So, I mean, you might be stuck in this for a very, very long time. If it is a smaller position, you can probably ride it out. If it's a larger position, you might consider freeing up the capital so that you can do some other stuff and take advantage of opportunities here. Anyhow, great question here. So will USO survive this drop in crude prices? I don't know. I honestly do not know. This is what Sakib was asking. Jim, am I still trading power spreads? I do, and they're okay. You see, here's my challenge. With the power spreads, you know, it's based on binary options. I really like the indices, and right now the indices are still too expensive. Option premiums are too expensive there. So this is why I'm just narrowed down to crude oil and the euro, and now crude oil, it's also, I'm not finding as much. So I might take a break from it because I'm having so much fun selling puts right now, right? There's just not not enough to trade here. Okay, good. So somebody's asking, would you buy Netflix? No, and here's why. Let me show you. So you know that I believe in indicators, and actually, let me show this to you on my software, PowerX Optimizer, because it makes it even easier for me. So if I'm searching a ticker like Netflix here right now, you see it's giving me very specific buy and sell signals, and right now. It's at here, right here, when it was at 365. This is when it was a great time to buy. Why? Because the three indicators that I like to use said right now is a good time to buy. And then I like to take profits at some point because nobody ever got broke taking profits. And you see, this is what is calculating it right here, that it tells me exactly when to take profits. So we can take a look at the trading report, and I did not trade it because right now I'm more interested in trading options. But if you had traded Netflix here just with a small $10,000 account and you would have traded only 27 shares, can you see it? I can probably make this a little bit bigger here. You would have entered at 363, would have exited $50 later. So this means a profit of $1,300. Now, again, this is based on a $10,000 account. So based on a $10,000 account, you would have made 13%. Not bad at all, right? Not bad at all. So would I buy Netflix here right now? No, because it is trading at an all-time high. Let's go back here to this. And this trend has already moved. This ship has sailed, right? I mean, right now, see what's happening. It's hovering out there. You should have bought it right here. So this is why I like to use charts, why I like to use the PowerX optimizer. Okay, so I want to answer more questions, but I also have something special prepared for you that I want to show you right now. But is this helpful thus far? Are you enjoying this? If you do, and you haven't yet, give me a quick thumbs up. Let's do a quick like. I would really, really appreciate it. So the following segment that I want to do is, and Pink Lizard Tricali. I hope that this answers your question. So the following segment, I actually would also like Asia to edit it out to make sure that we have it as a standalone video, because I feel that this is what I'm about to share with you is something very important. It's actually something that my son Julius inspired me to this weekend. So let me actually come to full camera right now. There we go, so that we don't have the bar on there. And let's talk something that's really near and dear to my heart. You see, right now, we're in the middle of a crisis. I mean, businesses are closing and filing for bankruptcy. More than 20 million people filed for unemployment in the past few weeks. We're all stuck at home and don't know when all of this will end. In short, it's easy to be frustrated and stressed and worried right now, right? So the key question is, how can we be happier and less stressed? And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. So here are 3 ways that I want to share with you how to be happier and less stressed. Number 1, surround yourself with positive people. You see, if you're surrounded by negative people, it's difficult to stay positive. Have you ever experienced this? If you're surrounded by people who complain and blame others, how can you stay happy? It's impossible. Now, here's the good news. You can change it. And here are 3 ways how to do it. Number 1, for starters, stop watching the news. The news is full of negativity because that's how they make money. You know how it works. If it bleeds, it leads. The news are making everything worse than it is. And they love to spread fear because that's how they keep people glued to the screen. Opt out of this. Stop watching the news. Second, clean out your Facebook feed. You see, right now, people are spreading way too much, they're spending way too much time on social media. And some people use social media to complain about everything. Or, what I think is even worse, they're spreading news that are not even true. Here's a tip. Instead of blocking them or unfriending them, you can just snooze them for 30 days. Did you know this? So there's these 3 dots on the right side of their name. So you can snooze them for 30 days. And this way you're still friends, but you don't see their posts for the next 30 days. And of course, if it gets too annoying, you can just unfriend them too. Anyhow, the 3rd way to surround yourself with positive people is to choose who you hang out with. And right now, that's easier than ever. Because, as you know, right now we're practicing social distancing. And you can use this as an opportunity to do a cleanse. You can use social distancing as an excuse not to visit with certain people that are just negative. And I'm sure with everything going on, you're too busy to spend time on the phone with these negative people, right? You get the idea. Now, I want to show you a simulation that my son Julius programmed this weekend. In this simulation, you will see squares and triangles. So let's just say these triangles are positive people, and the squares, well, they're squares. So Julius programmed the simulation in such a way that the triangles are trying to be around at least 40% of people who are positive. So let me show you what is happening right here. So I'm going to show you this presentation. screen here. When you surround yourself with only a few positive people, you attract more and more positive people. So that's the good news. You don't have to ignore all your negative friends. Just focus on the positive ones, and the negative ones will migrate to others who are negative too. Because you might have heard the saying, misery loves company. So let the negative people amongst each other. And before we move on to the next step on how to be happy and less stressed, is this making sense thus far? Are you enjoying this? Because if you do, click on like so that I know that you're enjoying this video. And then let's move on to step number 2, how to be happy and less stressed. Number 2, focus on what you can change. Have you heard of the Serenity prayer? It's actually written by an American theologian. I think this is how you say it. He's called Reinhold Niebuhr. And the first verse is the most popular one. And I personally think it's the most powerful one. So here it is. It says, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Isn't that powerful? Because if you focus on things that you can't change, you will be stressed. Because it makes you feel powerless, and that's stressful. You see, right now we're in the middle of the crisis. We can't change that people are getting sick. We can't change that businesses are closing and laying off people. We can't change that schools are closed and kids are struggling learning from home. But there are things that we can change, and that's step number 3 of how to be happier and less stressed. Step number 3, there's always a silver lining. Yes, I am an optimist. You know me by now. I like to look for the good in every situation. And trust me, sometimes it's not easy to see. Here's an example. Let's say in this crisis, you got laid off. And right now you need to look for a new job. That sucks. But is it really the worst that could have happened? Think about it. Were you really happy in your job, or were you dragging it anyhow? Is there maybe a blessing in disguise that you're now forced to look for another job? Maybe it's something that you always wanted to do, look for another job, but never did because you were scared and maybe comfortable. Well, now that people are forced to do it, who knows? Maybe you'll get a much better job than you had. A job where your boss appreciates you, a job that values your contributions, and a job that maybe even pays better. Or maybe you're forced to find other ways to make money. And maybe that's why you're here on this channel right now. Maybe you always wanted to learn how to trade, but it was never a priority, or you never had time to do it. So you never got around to it. And now, when you're forced to find ways to make money, this might be a blessing in disguise. Because who knows? You might be really good at it and never have to work for somebody again. See, my point is, yes, losing your job is stressful, but it might actually be a good thing. However, it's always difficult to see it in the moment. Think about it like a wound, right? When a wound is fresh, it hurts. And while the wound is healing, it still hurts. But years later, when the wound is healed and somebody's asking you about your scar, don't you tell the story proudly? How you got the scar and how this has changed you? By the way, I have a scar in the back of my head. I got it when I was 7, and my brother threw a knife at me. But that's a story for another day. Now, is this making sense thus far? Because if it is, do me a favor and click on like. Let me know that you're enjoying the video, because I have one more thing for you. But before we get to this, do me a favor. Tell me about something that happened to you that really sucked when it happened. But then it turned out that it was one of the best things that ever happened to you. Leave a comment and let me know, because I'm very curious. Okay, so now you know the 3 steps how to be happier and less stressed. And if you're in a situation right now where you have to find a way to make more money, then use this as a kick in the butt. Use it as an opportunity to find ways to make more money. In fact, I did a video on the 3 ways to make money, and I'll link to it in a moment or in the description. In fact, it's a playlist that shows you how to make money step by step, and these videos should appear on your screen right now. So click on the video that makes the most sense for you, and I'll see you there. All right. You know the drill. You know why I did it at the end, right? Because Asia is editing this video. So let me come back to you. Since we are live here, I also want to have the footer that we are live here. Did you enjoy this this little segment? And of course, I show you the videos. I think it's something that many people need to hear right now. If you know somebody who needs to hear this message, please feel free to share this video with anybody who might find this helpful. Okay. So let's see if we have a few more comments from you that you're here live. And if you're watching the recording, please leave a comment below. I really appreciate it. You might see it. I try to answer as many comments as possible. I'll like your comments. I really appreciate it. So keep them coming. I enjoy you being here and participating. Okay, so let's say when earlier I talked about the chickens before they hatch. Thank you, Ihor, whatever, right? I mean, sorry if I butchered your name. So you're absolutely right. Now, Wayne is asking, do you take earnings announcement dates into consideration when placing option trades? Yes, I absolutely do. I do not mind. Let me actually show you. Let me go to the screen here and show you exactly. So we talked about SPCE, right? So SPCE, I am in this trade, and you see the option expires on May 8th, and earnings are on May 6th or May 5th. Who knows? I'm not intending to still be in this trade by that time because I'm closing out my trades when I see 70% of my maximum profits. This is my rule, right? So this is why I took some profits already yesterday on play, even though it expires on Friday and we should be good. You see, I don't like to hold it all the way into expiration if I don't have to. If I can close out the trade earlier, making 70% of the profits, I'll do. So I'm okay placing a trade where I have earnings let's say 2 or 3 days before it expires. However, if you look at United Airlines right now, I would not. I mean, they're supposed to report earnings today or tomorrow or next week. So I would not place a trade right now that expires on May 8th, which is right here, right? Knowing that earnings are just a few days away. Is this making sense? Okay, great question, Wayne. Really appreciate it. Okay, so Zach, appreciate your comment. Don't waste your time with people that think you're not legit. Took your class, advisor. You're amazing. Thank you. Appreciate it. But hey, I also have nothing to hide. I'll be happy to show you what's happening in my accounts, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because this is part of it. Okay. Good. I see a bunch of great comments, Kathy. Appreciate about being transparent. Zia's asking, how do you pick the right stock for selling options? There are a lot of stocks with high volume. You see, this is where I have a 15-point checklist, and I did a class around this because really it doesn't do you any good if I would just give you the checklist. You have to know how to use it. It's pretty much like giving you a Formula One race car and you don't even know how to drive it, right? So this is why I did a class around it. I did it for an unbelievable low price. I don't know if it is available right now. If you're interested in this class, call or text the office, 512, it's here in the US, 337-1885. Everything has been recorded. Part of the class is the checklist and my put options calculator. So if you're interested, call or text the office and see if they can still give you a very special deal on the recordings. I did the class, I think 2 weeks ago. We are thinking about doing the class again, so you can also go on the wait list, but I don't know yet when we do the class. But if you want to go on the wait list, team, if you could drop a link in here, would appreciate it. The more people on the wait list, the more motivated I am to do the class. So if you are interested in this, let me know. And if you would like to have it now, right, the recordings of the previous class, call or text the office, and I'm pretty sure that they can help you out. Okay, the Killer Capricorn, is there a reason you only use a small account to sell your puts? No, and you see, in hindsight, I wish that I had put more money in there. Here's the point. As you know, I have a mastermind group, and this is where I told the mastermind group, here's what I'm going to do. On May 20th, I will do a meeting with my mastermind members with March 20th, which I did, and I said, For this, I will put $25,000 in an account, and my goal is during this crisis to double the account. So this was my goal, and you see, opportunity and risk are two sides of the same coin. So if you want to double your account in a matter of weeks, you have to be willing to take some risk. And this is why I chose to do it in a smaller account. And yeah, in hindsight, I wish I would have put $100,000 in there, because then right now I would be up $50,000. But hey, I mean, one thing that the markets taught me, don't be too greedy. Because if you're getting too greedy, the markets will punish you. So if I can make 42% in 4 weeks, I'm very happy with this, and I'm not complaining. And if this turns out to be, what was it, $10,000, $11,000, I'm okay with that. I mean, think about this. Right now, many people are losing their shirt in the markets, right? And we're making money, so that's good. Let's have a coffee. All right, so Lens Wins says, you want one of these mugs? Okay, fantastic. We actually do have a store. I think they're $9 or something like this. If you go to rockwelltrading.com/store, you can order a mug there. I think they're pretty cool. It helps me. I have it on my desk all day long, so it reminds me to always trade what I see, not what I think. And I know that somebody recently asked about, do we have these mugs for left-handed people? Yes, we do. After you asked, I asked the team and said, can we make sure that we have these mugs for left-handed people? So we do have a version for right-handed and left-handed people. Okay. So Darius is asking, when you sell puts, do you let the put expire, or do you buy to cover before it expires? I usually buy to cover before it expires. I like to buy it back when I see 70% of my maximum profit. So let's actually talk about SPCE, so we can jump back on the desktop. So SPCE, here we go. So I sold it for 58 cents, and this means I'm looking for 70% of 58 cents. So let me just calculate this really quick. 58 times 0.3. So I want to get out of there when I can buy it back for around 17, 18 cents. Is this making sense? So I like to buy them back when I see 70% of my maximum profit. Okay. So space breaking below $17. Yeah, happens. I mean, as long as it doesn't break below $13, I'm fine. Right? I'm fine. No problem with that. Kathy says, I love the definition of a long-term investment. Yep, long-term investment is a short-term investment gone wrong. Okay. So Zach says CL stands for Colgate on E-Trade. How can I find the right ticker symbol? You see, it's a futures contract. So CL, it might be CL1, it might be CL-. Look for futures. So you got to look for futures contract, and I'm sure that on E-Trade, you will be able to look up stocks, futures, forex, right? I mean, they should do this, so it's a futures contract. Ziad is asking, would you short stocks? Absolutely, all the time. I like to do this all the time. This is what I do with PowerX Optimizer. But right now, as long as the VIX is above 40, I prefer just selling puts. And once it goes below 30 again, meaning that the markets are less volatile, this is when I start buying and selling stocks and options according to PowerX Optimizer. Making sense? Okay. Great. Caleb is asking, would you buy a put on Netflix? Not right now. You see this, Caleb, for me, it would be speculation right now. And you already know it. Trade what you see, not what you think. I don't see anything that makes me believe that Netflix is rolling over. Let me show you why. So let's just go to, here we go, Netflix. So when I look at the chart of Netflix, okay, I still see that the bars are green. So it tells me that the market is more likely to go up. So the Netflix might continue higher. But I also see that I have some resistance here. So it might actually be over. And right now, I believe that we might see a few black bars first, meaning that it is undecided. So that's why at this point, I do not feel like doing anything with Netflix. But great question. Really appreciate it. Okay. Good. Ahmed says, we talked yesterday. You work in the oil transportation industry. So far, I'm busy. Okay. Bracing for impact. The first trade, the book is on the way. Okay, fantastic. So, book is on the way. I will have another surprise for you. Probably, hopefully by Friday, if not next week. So I have something very special for you. I'm going to tell you. Okay, just stay tuned. Make sure that you're subscribed to this channel. Hit the little notification bell. This way you get notified whenever I go live. And this way you actually see what I have to announce for you. Okay, so Bernard is asking, can the PowerX optimizer be used in volatile markets like we're experiencing? I don't. So this is where we go back to what I have been saying. And I did a whole video on this. It's called The Best Trading Strategy. If you want to look this up here on my channel, or I also did a blog post, if you go to my website, as long as the VIX is above 30, this is the line in the sand for me, that's where I like to sell puts as I do right now. Once it dips below 30, that's when I like to buy stocks and options again, according to PowerX Optimizer. So if you're new to trading, right now is a great time to learn how to use PowerX Optimizer. So yes, people ask me, should I actually learn the PowerX strategy? Should I get PowerX Optimizer and get started? Absolutely. And here's why. You want to be ready when the markets are ready. See, this is the challenge with traders. Most traders wait too long before they start taking advantage of opportunities, right? So if you're waiting to get familiar with the strategy or with the software until it dips below, might be too late. I mean, do it now so that when it dips below, you're off to the races. You anyhow need to practice on a simulator first. So right now is a good time to do this, or you apply another strategy, and we talked about the other strategies here. Anyhow, great questions here. Really appreciate it. Okay, Kathy said, hate the news, prefer reading your newsletters, appreciate it. Diane, aiming to stop watching the news. Kathy said, stop using Facebook. Yep. Okay, so really appreciate it. Let's see if there's a few more trading questions. Wayne said, as stock traders, don't we need to be attuned to the news? No. I did a video on this for you. It's about my trading routine that shows you the newsletters that I like to read. And so I'm doing my own newsletter, which is free. So you can subscribe to it on my website, rockwelltrading.com. There's 2 other newsletters that I like to read. So if the team could drop the video here, it's called, what is it called? My morning routine or something like this. I already forgot. So anyhow, but I did this so the team will drop the link to the video here in the chat or maybe in the description. This way you can watch it, and I do not watch any news. There's no need to listen to the news as a trader. Because again, trade what you see, not what the news wants you to think. Okay? Good. All right, so JP, one thing that works, all markets selling puts. Right now, JP, it does. JP, wasn't it you yesterday who asked for my account statement? I think it was you, right? I'm not quite sure. If it was you, I hope that this was helpful today where you have seen my account statement. So, great. Okay, Antonio, you're absolutely right. When one door closes, another one opens. Absolutely. Kathy says, was always afraid to trade. You made it understandable. Really appreciate it. See, this is my goal with doing it here. I'm not here to tell you when you trade, you will make a metric shit ton of money because it's not the case. Trading can be challenging. There will be wins, there will be losses. But here's the deal. I'm here to show you that trading can be simple. It is not as complicated as some people want you to believe. It is. It's not easy. I mean, if it would be easy, everybody and his grandmother would be doing it. But it's also, I want to help you to break through this limitation that you might say, I don't know if I should be trading. That's too complicated. Or you might have friends who say, you need to leave this to the professionals. Or you might have a financial advisor who says, leave this to me. I'm the professional. No. I really do believe, I mean, this is my belief, that everybody can learn how to trade. Doesn't mean that you will make money, but it's like with everything in life. If you sink your teeth into this, it is not as complicated as you think it might be. This is why I'm showing you the 3 indicators that I like to use. This is why I did the Options 101 class. This is why I'm doing these videos, to show you it is possible. I mean, I'm not the smartest guy. I might sound smart, but not that smart. I've just been doing it for a very, very long time. If I would have to do what you're doing right now in your profession, I probably wouldn't have a chance. You're probably really, really good at what you're doing, and same with trading. If you just do it and stick to it, I believe that eventually you'll get good at it. And it's not happening overnight, and this is why I appreciate you being here, watching these channels, watching these videos, and hopefully getting more and more comfortable when it comes to trading. That is my goal for you. This is why I'm doing it here. And if you choose to become one of my private students that we trade together, that's great, right? I mean, do it when the time is right. If you're interested in this, contact Lisa and she'll have a chat with you whether this makes sense for you or not. And for some, it might make sense. It might not make sense for you. Anyhow, so that's why I'm doing it here. And I hope that you enjoy watching these videos as much as I enjoy doing them for you. All right, the coffee is getting cold. You know that we like to keep these sessions to approximately 45 minutes, and we are a little bit over. So enjoy the rest of the day. As always, I'm putting the coffee away. Why would I do this? As always, we will be back here tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern Time, 30 minutes before the markets close. It has become kind of a habit. I'm enjoying it. Are you enjoying being here? So if this is your first time here and you said, oh my gosh, I missed it live, I'm watching the recording right now, consider subscribing to this channel. Hit the little notification bell. This way you get notified. If you go to my website, rockwelltrading.com, there's probably somewhere on the website a way to enter your email address. When you do, I'll send you reminders every day when I'm going live so that you get an email as well. And as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay at home for now. Okay, have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.